Hello everyone, welcome to this demo that will be showing a new way how we treat prescriptions. So if you are following project updates, you know that we introduced this concept of prescriptions. Basically, prescriptions are some recipes how to heal applications. So in a declarative form, you can state how the resolution process should look like, what should be recommended to users, or or how users should be warned. So if you go to thoth-station organization on GitHub and you open prescriptions Git repository, you can find directory structure, but you can also find other files that are needed for maintaining the repository. I will talk about it a bit later. But basically, if you open prescriptions directory, then you can see the directory structure of prescriptions and one file that is a metadata file called prescription metadata.yaml. In this metadata file, there are stated information about prescriptions. So here you can see that prescriptions have name. In this case, this name is called thoth. And this name is also used for namespacing prescriptions. So if you use multiple Git repositories with prescriptions, or you maintain multiple prescriptions, one specific for Project Thoth, the other prescription specific for open source Python projects, then you can change this name, and that will make sure that these prescriptions do not collide, and you will make sure that these prescriptions are namespaced. Then there is information about release. So here we have some development release from Git, and if you go to the prescriptions directory structure, here you can see some directories. Some directories are named with underscore prefix. So for example, here you can see underscore Python 3.6, underscore generic, underscore AICOE. And these are prescriptions that are generic and not specific to Python packages. So in underscore Python 3.6, you can find prescriptions that are specific for Python 3.6. This helps with maintenance. Similarly, in underscore generic, you can find prescriptions that are generic for the recommendation engine. And then we have prescriptions that are specific for AICOE team. If you take a look at other directories, you can see that these directories are named based on packages. These names are normalized based on the corresponding PEP standard in Python. So you can see directories that state prescriptions for Python projects such as import lib metadata, mock, pandas, or TensorFlow. And if you take a look at, for example, TensorFlow, you can see that there are prescriptions or YAML files that state prescriptions specific for TensorFlow. So if I open some, I should be able to see prescriptions how to heal TensorFlow applications. So in this case, there is created a pipeline unit of type step that is registered into the resolution process if we are resolving TensorFlow, TensorFlow CPU, TensorFlow GPU, and there is also H5Py in version above 3. It is known that TensorFlow in version 2.1 has overpinning issues and stated this dependency accidentally. So here you can see that this prescription is basically fixing a TensorFlow issue that is overpinning of a library version. If you take a look at the directory structure, you can also find .github that is present in the Git repo root. So here you can see .github, and there's one file that is called CODEOWNERS. If you maintain a project, or you would like to get notifications, or you would like to review prescriptions that are specific for your projects or projects that you are interested in, feel free to add yourself, and feel free to add yourself as a reviewer or code owner. In that case, if there's a new prescription created for your library or your package, then you get notifications and you will be assigned as a code owner or code reviewer, so you can give your feedback to prescriptions that are created. If you are thoth operator and you would like to have these prescriptions in a thoth deployment, then you can create an issue and you can release a new prescription release. So you can use CODEOWNERS bot for creating new major, minor, or patch release for these prescriptions. In that case, CODEOWNERS bot will automatically bump version of these prescriptions, and COE CI will automatically build a container image that will be pushed to Quay, and the release process behind thoth will automatically include new versions of prescriptions in a new release. This makes sure that prescriptions are versioned and we can track, for example, issues or any bugs that possibly occur in prescriptions or in Python libraries or Python applications themselves. Okay, so as you can see, prescriptions are maintained in a directory structure. So previously we maintained this large or gigantic YAML file with all the prescriptions, but that turned out to be not maintainable long-term, and we introduced this directory structure concept, which should help with prescriptions maintenance, but also following updates or keeping prescriptions up to date for your projects. This would be it. If you are interested in prescriptions or you would like to dive into documentation, feel free to do so. There is online documentation. Basically everything that I stated is documented in the documentation, and you can see information about the YAML file, about the metadata file, schema that is expected by pipeline units stated in these prescriptions, and also semantics behind declarative syntax of there. So if you would like to, for example, include certain prescriptions specific for Python, then you can dive into should include runtime environments Python versions that match specific Python versions in runtime environments. And then you can see in this case we match these two Python versions, that is Python 3.8, Python 3.9. So a prescription is included for these Python versions during the resolution process. You can also do something like not or operations like that. So if you would like to write your own prescriptions, or you would like to understand prescriptions that are already produced and available in the prescriptions repository, feel free to dive into the documentation. This documentation can be found on thoth-station.ninja. And if you click on Get Started, you should be able to see Add Wisdom to the recommendation engine using prescriptions, and that will navigate you to the prescriptions documentation. This way, I would like to thank you and see you next time.